The Redmi Note 8 and the Vivo U20 are two of the best budget devices you can get in the market right now. They pack in some amazing hardware specifications at a really competitive price, which makes them a go-to choice for a number of buyers. Most importantly, in a camera-centric social media world, the camera matters in a phone, whether it is in any segment. So while both the devices are quite comparable in all the other departments, there's an interesting difference between the camera capabilities, and that's exactly what we are going to talk about in this video. Hi guys, this is Ashish from Guiding Tech, and let's get right into it. Now, I'll not be talking about the camera specifications because firstly, there are a lot of lenses to talk about, and secondly, I think most of you might already know about those specifications by now. Right now, we'll take a look at the photos and the videos directly, and let's get started with the daylight and HDR. Now, if you take a look at the first image, both the phones have done pretty decent job of capturing it, but the Redmi Note 8 here is more warmer when compared to the Vivo U20's image. The image on the Redmi Note 8 is even more detailed even in the darker areas in comparison to the other image. On Vivo side of things, however, the photo has a natural black level, and in some areas the punchiness is a tad bit lower. The Vivo U20 has captured the sky brilliantly while maintaining an overall natural and cool color tone when compared to its counterpart. However, if you move on to this image, there are a number of things to notice in here. The Redmi Note 8 again leans towards the warmer side, and the greens benefit from it a tad bit. However, if you notice the sky in both the images, they are quite different in terms of color temperature. The Redmi Note 8 also sharpens a lot, and due to this, you may notice noise here and there in the image. The U20 on the other hand leans towards a cool side of the temperature scale, and as a result, the sky and the flowers benefit from this. Now, the photos from this device is a bit less sharp if we compare them, but over-sharpened images, vibrant images are subjected to personal taste and may differ from individual to individual. Now, let's move on to this image. The Vivo U20 here delivers an overall better result. It has a natural color tone and adequate amount of exposure in the darker areas so that textures can be seen properly. The Redmi Note 8 again, as usual, delivers a sharpened image with deeper blacks and warmer tone overall. Unfortunately, in this case, the deeper black level though helps to garner a punchy look but loses out on other details and textures. Now here's one thing, I really like the sky better on the Vivo U20 rather than on the Redmi Note 8. Now moving on, let's take a look at these shots. The Redmi Note 8 Pro continues to process images in its own warm and sharp setup, whereas the Vivo U20 maintains a natural look and feel of the scene while maintaining proper exposure, and once again, I like the sky better on the Vivo U20. For example, let's take a look at this wide-angle shot captured by both the phones. Right away, we see the same points as discussed above, although in the image, the Vivo U20 renders the sky better, but there's an overexposed sun. However, the Redmi Note 8 delivers a sky with balanced sun. I like the tone of the Vivo U20 because it once again maintains a natural scene tone overall with better black levels. Now let us have a look at few more shots and then we'll move on to the macro mode. Now it's time for macro images, and in this image, the U20 has done a fantastic job of maintaining a balanced composition with a natural tone and enhanced clarity on the object. The Redmi Note 8 on the other hand, with its 2 megapixel shooter, does a good job of capturing this rock, but the white balance is quite off in this one. If you zoom in and see, you'll clearly notice that the Vivo U20 here has maintained a consistent level of clarity when compared to Redmi Note 8. Now, moving on, we are in the portrait departments, and let's take a look at this shot. Straight away, the portrait shot have been captured efficiently by both the camera phones. The depth of field generator is good in both the images, and also the color temperature is decent. However, the Redmi Note 8 produces a punchy image, but due to the black level, my face in this one is darker, and that is a huge trade-off, because if the subject is not well lit, especially the face, then the purpose of the portrait photo is lost according to me. Now let's take a look at another shot in a different scenario and lighting condition. So as you've seen in the previous image, the Redmi Note 8 again has darkened the face on the subject here, and again that turns out to be a major drawback when comparing portrait images. The Vivo U20 again maintains a bright and balanced image with a good overall background. Now it's time for selfies and portraits. And looking at these sets of images, the Vivo U20 and Redmi Note 8 delivered almost same result but with a slight difference in exposure. If we zoom in, we can see that the detailing is better on the Redmi Note 8 due to the extra sharpness. It always attaches with most of the images. The Vivo U20 image also turns out to be good but only lacks in clarity when compared to the Redmi Note 8. And moving on to the next image here. In the selfie portrait, the basic properties of both front camera remains almost the same, more or less. If we zoom in on these images, we can clearly see that the clarity is preserved by the Redmi Note 8, but the background blur is a bit aggressive when compared to the Vivo's image. The background blur on the Vivo U20 image is natural and the overall tone of the image is better as well. And finally, now moving on to the low light photos, they tell a different story altogether. On the Vivo side of things, the photos are pretty bad. If you look at the overall image, it lacks in variety of factors such as exposure, black level, detailing and color. All of these factors take a big hit and are in stark difference to the image on the right of the Redmi Note 8. The Redmi Note 8 produces a well-balanced image with proper detailing, sharpened textures, adequate exposure without overexposing the light, even in the next image as you can see. So here are all the night photos, and it's pretty much evident that Redmi Note 8 is doing a tad better job than the Vivo U20 in this particular department. So now let's talk about the video. And when you talk about that, the sample that is currently running on the screen is a fair example to demonstrate both the devices' video recording capabilities. The Vivo U20 is stable, in a bit overexposed, which is a good thing because you will be able to retain some details in the post-processing, but the Redmi Note 8 in the classic style delivers vibrant and punchy footage. The stability is a factor in case of this because it was pretty bad for Redmi Note 8. The dynamic range was good in both the footages overall. Coming to Slo-Mo, both the devices support slow motion at 720p with an FPS of 240. And if you ask me, both the footages were good and no major differences here. However, as a pro tip, when you're shooting slow-mo with these devices at 720p, make sure to capture something wider and don't go for a macro slow motion as you'll end up with a noisy video altogether. And well, that's it for the camera comparison, and to sum up everything we have talked about so far, the Vivo U20 is a clear winner for me when it comes to daylight shots and HDRs. Photos captured by the phone have better natural color reproduction, captures more detailed and dynamic range. So finally, as I already said, it all boils down to personal preference however. So do let us know which photos do you prefer in the comments section below, and also let us know if you would like to see more of such camera comparisons on Guiding Tech. Hey, by the way, if you haven't subscribed to our channel already, please do hit the subscribe button and don't forget to follow us on Instagram for more such cool photos. This is Ashish signing off, and I hope to see you in my next videos. Until then, take care and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.